Alright, so I'm chronicling every time I meditate now, what I see and what happens and the procedure I take, or not the procedure, but the things I do intuitively without thought while I am meditating. This is thoughtless meditation. Alright, now, so today, um, sat down to meditate, closed my eyes, kept my hands no positions, just completely relaxed at first. I felt like once again I focus on my eyes, not my breath, cleared my thoughts, and now I realized I'm aware that I put everything in the back of my mind, meaning my focus is in the back of my tension. The tension is in the back of my mind, if there is any tension at all. All there is, the tension's in the back of my mind rather than the forehead or the top. And my focus is in my eyes, not in my breath. I'm not focusing on my breath. So this time it only took me about 40, 60 seconds to 2 minutes probably. I can't really know. But it took me a really short time to get the visuals. And after that period of time, I just felt a extreme calmness, extreme sort of ecstasy. Not extreme ecstasy, a sort of ecstasy, a good feeling. And my breath circled in my face again. It completely slowed down and centered in my heart. And this is when the light started appearing. I opened my, oh, and at this stage, before my hands were in no forms, my hands were now in this position, down and up, using this, but down and up. Okay. And proceeded to open my eyes, and light was being seen everywhere. And then I didn't, normally I would, at this stage, I would open my hand and look at my hand, or look towards my hand and see, and I would experience seeing the light through my hand and everything. But this time I closed my eyes again, and I just, I just focused again because I had a lot of thoughts in my mind. I couldn't clear my mind completely, but once again the thoughts were all the way in the back of my head, so they're really quiet. I could barely hear them, and when I did become aware of them, they were quieted instantly. But anyways, these random thoughts. I closed my eyes again. I started just meditating normally. I did eventually open my right hand, but I thought because my eyes were closed, I thought my hand was open completely, but it wasn't. It was like this. It was straight, and then just like a little thing, but my fingers weren't touching. And the lights were still flashing in front of me. This time I was trying to make form of them, but because each time the light flashes, you see little points and little dots and little points. So what I was trying to do was see the dot, like see one of the little dots and one of the little points, and to actually, I don't know, see it. And each time I tried doing this, um, not shapes, but I would see lines and stuff. Like when I tried to view into one of these, to view further into this light, I'd see lines, and I couldn't hold it, I couldn't use it, and then the light would flash again, and I'll try to see it again, but it would be a different image each time. And now this is the cool thing. This is why I'm chronicling this from now on, because after doing this, I lost all my breath. Like when I mean I lost all my breath, before I was holding my breath in certain positions. I've become aware that because when I start to see this light, it starts to happen as soon as I hold my. At first, it was intuitively or like unconsciously because I'm not focusing on my breath. It would control itself. But anyways, I've become aware that it just controls itself and focuses, centers here, and centers around my forehead, and then I just breathe extremely slowly during this entire process. When I mean slowly, I mean extremely slowly. I can't even, I don't know. so, so I lost my breath. I lost that slowness. I lost that control, and everything went away. Everything went away, and I just sat there for a minute, and I started. I was gonna do Om, but I've been extremely curious about the sound da, DA, because I believe it's the sound of the heart, the vocal sound of the heart, and C is another sound of the heart somehow. But I don't know how. This is just what I know. I think I believe so. But anyway, so I started saying da C because I wanted to experiment with it, see what would happen. So I proceeded to go da, whatever. I did that for a minute, and I did it with my eyes closed. And this was while doing that, I had the imagery of light in my face, but they took certain forms. Like the light always flashes across, or it flashes and it does some sort of movement. It depends on. Alright, but anyways, I saw some form, and after that, after meditating, I decided to meditate with my hand open. Like after doing the dasi, decided to meditate with my hand open again. Because prior when I used to do that, I would see light flash around it. Anyways, my hand was open and my other hand was like this, and it was up. They weren't sitting down, and it was up. And I noticed the light moved to a certain direction, a certain way. And then I changed my hand. I changed my hands to this. Yeah. And this. But they're positioned like this, underneath each other. At first I did, the top one was like this and the bottom one was like this, and they positioned each other, and I noticed the light moved across from these two and it moved down. So I started to assume that based on where my finger positions were, my hand positions were in front of my face, the light moved in different positions. When it was like this, the light moved over and it just kind of fell down flat. When my hands were like this, the light moved over. It moved up out of this, and then on this side was like doing the same thing but in opposite way, and in the middle of it was a darker space between the two, or like not a darker, yeah, but dark because there's light everywhere. There's just a darker space left in the middle. So I became aware of this, of the light moving. So I started putting my hands in mad different positions. Then I did it with my hand open and like this, and the light came around here, moved out of here, and then it just sat around here. This was when my eyes closed. My eyes were not open during this time. My eyes were not open. That's why I was able to see it more clearly, the light. And I proceeded to do that for a while. And then I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? I still don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know I'm seeing this shit. And I've even researched this shit on websites. Not, there's a thing called hedonic memory. I don't know, this shit doesn't matter. I'm chronicling meditation, but we'll see where the shit leads to. Because I'm not saying it's going to lead to anywhere in specific, to a specific location, because that's not what the purpose of it is. It's not a search. It's not even a procedure. It's an action. Not even an action. It's a being. Meditation is a being. It's not a procedure or a structure or a search of any kind. It's the last point in the circle. It's like if there's step one, if there's 10 steps, and the step, to being, the image of God, or being the perfect human being, meditation would be the last step, because you're just being. You're being absent of, you're becoming absent of the being you are, meaning the personality, not even the personality, but the thoughts and the mind structure that you are. Yet you're in a far place. Like me, I'm in the back of my mind, all my tension's back there, and because of that, I still am aware. Yet I'm allowing all this shit to happen because I'm keeping my mind clear, and everything is just working or operating independently. At least this is what I'm thinking. So I'm still being aware, and this shit's going on. And basically, finally got to the point where I can completely be dreaming while I'm awake. I'll bring that bring that awareness into this reality. Like I mean deep sleep, like we're not even to say you go anywhere when you're in deep sleep, but what bodily functions or what bodily chemistry or shit that goes on when you're in deep sleep and how it would be to be aware of it. You know what I mean? Who knows what that place is? Everyone needs that deep sleep to function. People call it fourth, dimensional sleep. Scientists have been known to call it, we need fourth dimensional sleep to live in third dimensional reality. We need that connection with whatever. So anyways, I just want to mention one more thing. Uh, I've seen videos of swamis, yogis, even some goofy white people, some crazy dudes. Not to say they're crazy, but just, say they, in deep meditation, they see beings. Like this one swami, Dattatreya, said he saw, not a god, but he saw an angel of some sort who had a head of a bull and the body of a man, and he talked to him and he said humans are ignorant. I don't know. People say they see things like this. And what I'm saying is if I'm seeing a light, I the reason I try to look into this light, like those little points, is because I'm not saying there has to be a structure to the light, but there has to be something inside of it. Not inside of it, but the light has to be something. you know? This light is something. This is a reflection of some sort of light. You know what I mean? So is the cell phone. Everything is a reflection of some sort of light. And I'm seeing, what if, I don't know, what if this light is the initial stage to seeing these angels or whatever, or seeing the reality of light that they live in? That's just a possibility. This is why, I don't know when I started meditating. I don't know why I started meditating. I didn't start meditating for this shit. But this shit started happening when I started meditating. And thank God I'm keen on perceptual analysis and awareness shit. But anyways, that's all I had to say about today. We'll see.